So, I had said on Tumblr that I was going to make this video. So that is what I'm going to do right now. It is going to be how to start your weight loss or your fitness or your whatever health journey that you are personally on. I guess it's going to be a little bit geared more towards people who are looking to lose weight, just because that's where my experience comes from. I'm going to keep my sunglasses on because I'm not going to be looking at the camera, and I feel like it would be super awkward. I don't know. I feel like it makes it less awkward. Maybe it doesn't. I'm sorry. But, so there's really going to be three main things I'm going to focus on, and the first is what I think is the most important yet the most undervalued part of beginning any sort of health or fitness journey, and that is going into it with the right mindset and your mindset throughout the entire process. I think no matter what your goals are, you really need to approach them with a positive mindset. I think based on questions that I get on Tumblr a lot about like losing weight and things like that, it like some of them break my heart because people are just so negative towards themselves, and they say things and I'm like, I'm sorry that you like hurt like that. And I think that a lot of people, their primary motivation might be out of self-hate or self-loathing for your body, and trust me, like I have been there. I grew up overweight. I was an overweight teenager. I'm not going to go too deep into my story because I plan on eventually making like a full video for that, but I get it. And I think the times that I was really, really down on how I looked in my body, those were the times that I kind of turned to extremes. I remember in 8th grade, there was like a month where I would bring clementines for lunch, and I would eat like 3 clementines. And then I'd go home after school and I would binge on packs of mini Oreos and bagels with butter and just all this stuff because I was really hungry from not eating during the day. And it was just this negative cycle of self-loathing, and it sucks to remember like going through that, and it's hard. But I think that you can approach a health and fitness journey from a positive perspective. I know for me, my primary motivation in starting out was my health. Again, I'll go into my like specific story in more depth, but I was just very unhealthy for a variety of reasons, and I knew that I needed to make a change. And for me, weight loss was a part of making that change. Like I had been overweight my whole life. It did take its toll on me physically. Joint pain, knee pain, like things like that, the cause was just being overweight. Sorry about the sun. So for me, having that primary motivation of my health really, I think, helped me approach the entire process in a positive way. I think just really trying to stay positive and not get down on your body. And it's totally, I think it's totally okay to want to change your body and things like that, but try to stay positive about it. Your body's great the way it is, and trust me, if you can't love yourself now, losing weight isn't going to suddenly help you love yourself. You're probably going to still find things that you're unhappy with. And oftentimes too, this is where I was going before and I got a little sidetracked, but when you approach weight loss from such a negative place of self-loathing and self-hate, you do tend to resort to extremes, and that might be extreme calorie restriction, excessive amounts of cardio, cutting food groups and like really restricting what you're eating. And that might give you results short term, but long term, it's just not a sustainable way of living. You just get to the point where you can't eat that little anymore, so you end up eating a ton, or you go back to your old ways or whatnot. and you gain weight back. And that's the yo-yo dieting cycle, and that negative self-image falls right along with that, because you feel that, now I'm a failure, or now I failed and didn't do it, so now I have to go back and restrict because that's how I succeed. And I think that when you approach weight loss in that way, that's what it tends to lead to, and it's not necessarily the healthiest way of going about it. I guess this would be a good time to say that I am not a doctor or a nutritionist or a dietitian or a personal trainer or anything of the sort. I'm a law student, so I am trying to absolve myself of liability at the moment. But these are personal opinions. If you do undertake some sort of major lifestyle change, consult your doctor. That would be the best way of going about it. Everyone's different, so anything that I say, it might not be the best way for you, but I at least try to promote healthiness and happiness, and that's my main focus. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm not trying to scam you. I genuinely want people to lose weight in a healthy way, because I think that's the way that it's the most sustainable. Anyways, so back to just not resorting to extremes and staying positive about yourself through the process, going along with having the right mindset. You also really need to accept the fact that your lifestyle is going to change. I don't mean this to sound harsh in any kind of way, but if you're overweight, your lifestyle is most likely a big contributor to that, absent some sort of medical reason for it. And sometimes the change might just be small things, but sometimes, at least in my case, there needed to be some drastic changes made to my health. So take some time to really absorb that and accept that you're probably not going to be living the way you're living, but at the same time, really reflect on how you are living. And I'll get back to this in a little bit, but just are you truly happy? And that's the thing. If you're truly happy with yourself or the way you're living, your life, everything, good. That should be the ultimate goal. So this isn't me trying to push people to lose weight, but if that's what you choose to do, it's really a personal choice. That's what it really boils down to. Do it for you. Doing it for other people, again, that goes into that kind of negative mindset. You can't affect other people, what other people think, or you worry about yourself. Do things for you because they're the best thing for you to do for your health and your happiness. Yes, so just realize that it is going to be a long process. It's going to be a lot of work. It's not a 30-day fix or even a 6-month, counting down the clock. If you want your results to be sustainable, it needs to be your lifestyle. You need to keep up with the way you're eating and the way you're working out, and being active and being mindful and staying positive. I think that's an important part of it too, but I think that's a really daunting thing for people, and I think people don't really take the time to appreciate that and try to jump in 100% and do a complete 180 right off the bat. And again, I don't think that's, at least for me, not the best way to go about it. I personally made gradual changes. I started eating more fruits and vegetables. I kind of cut back on the processed things I was eating. Kept eating some processed things, but I switched it up. I wasn't eating, Hot Pockets anymore, right? Annie's mac and cheese. That's just an example. But slowly making the changes, slowly becoming more active, because when you do it like that, those habits, those acts become habits, and they just really stick, and soon it genuinely is your lifestyle. So I think going in with the right mindset is really just an important key. Stay positive, but know that you gotta work. It's not gonna be a walk in the park, but it also it shouldn't be torturous, and it shouldn't be super extreme and something that you're miserable doing. I think that's important. Just, if you're unhappy with what you're doing, try something different. So now I'm going to move on to the second factor or thing, consideration when starting your fitness journey is your nutrition. And I think the best way to start with that is to be truly honest with what your current nutrition is. And I think the best way to do that is to kind of just track what you eat for a week. You might not think about little mindless snacks that you grab here and there, but try to just keep track of what you eat and get an idea of how much you've been eating, and what you've been eating. And try to also be aware of how, recent weight changes. If you've noticed that over the past few months you've been consistently kind of gaining a bit of weight, and you've realized that you're eating 3,000 calories a day, then that's a sign that maybe that's too much for what your current lifestyle and fitness regime allows for. That for you causes weight gain, so that'll play into your ability to lose weight. But either way, just take a look at what you're eating, how much you're eating. I personally, I follow If It Fits Your Macros currently at the moment. I'm not going to get into different ways of eating. I plan on doing a different video on that and just my experiences with different things, because different things work for different people, and there are pros and cons to everything. So I'm not going to advocate one way or another, but I do think that no matter how you eat, what you follow or whatnot, that you should at least try to eat a lot of foods that are healthy, nutrient-dense whole foods, things that have lots of vitamins and minerals, vegetables, fruit, whole grains, natural things. I think no matter what, you should aim to eat a lot of that, but I also don't think that you should restrict yourself from anything unless you legitimately have an allergy that necessitates it. Cutting gluten or dairy or sugar or whatnot, again, those are extreme, unless you genuinely need to. Those are kind of extreme measures that might not be sustainable for you in the long run. Someone with celiac disease is going to cut gluten because if they don't, they're going to continue to be in pain. But what are you getting out of cutting gluten other than you're not eating gluten? And there's lots of yummy things with gluten. And I know gluten-free things can be yummy, but I'm just saying. Anyways, so that's where to start with your nutrition. Now, if you're starting a weight loss journey, ultimately weight loss boils down to calories in versus calories out. You need to be expending more energy than you're consuming. That's really just the very simplistic way to look at it. Personally, for me, I find that tracking and keeping track of what I eat, my major weight loss, I tracked calories. I'm currently tracking macros to cut. I find that that's the best way to do it, because you know how much you're eating, you know that you're in a caloric deficit, and for me that works. I know that doesn't work for everyone, but just in terms of being in a caloric deficit, you don't want to go too extreme. Especially if you're active and working out consistently, you're probably expending more energy than you realize, and you don't want to start at an extreme deficit, because if you start hitting plateaus, you have nowhere to go from there, and it's going to get to a point where your body is going to adapt, because your body seeks to maintain homeostasis, so it will adapt, and you're going to find that weight loss stalls or stops, or if you start eating even a little bit more, you might things might happen that aren't conducive to your goals. So don't think that when I say that you need to be expending more energy than you're consuming, that needs to be drastic. It really should be a couple hundred calories a day fewer. And there's a variety of ways you can find how much energy you generally expend in a day online. Looking at a TDEE calculator, total daily energy expenditure, those would be good. I would recommend doing a few, Googling it, doing a few, kind of finding averages. You could wear a heart rate monitor for 24 hours if you wanted to do that. And none of these are really going to be 100% accurate. You're not going to be burning exactly the same number of calories every day, but it'll give you a general idea of where you need to start if you're looking to lose weight. Or conversely, if you're coming from the other end of the spectrum and you might be naturally underweight and you want to really gain some muscle and fill out, then add calories from what you're currently expending. You need to, if you want to gain muscle and grow, your body needs the energy to do it. So you need to make sure that you're consuming more energy than you're expending in order for that to occur. So that, I think, covers a little basic kind of nutrition prong. And now I'm going to talk about the fitness portion, working out. So I think everyone's going to be starting at a different point. You might come from a background, personally, I came from a dance background, so I wasn't completely inactive. I have a very good sense of my body, especially when it comes to actually performing exercises. So for me, that kind of I'm kind of naturally athletic when it comes to things that aren't sports. If it involves equipment, not for Kate. But if it's something individual, that's for me. So I was a great swimmer. But so everyone's going to come from a different place. But if you're you're just starting out, you have a large amount of weight to lose, just start being more active. Just start parking a little bit farther away, walking more, go for a walk in the morning when you wake up, take the stairs more. During commercial breaks, do little things like sit-ups or air squats or things like that. Just start getting your body moving more. I think that's really important at the beginning, because it might take a little bit of time for you to find your niche and find what you really enjoy doing. I didn't get into weightlifting until after I had reached, my goal weight. I was running most of that time. Again, when I do my story, I'll go in more in depth, but I wouldn't approach it that way in hindsight. I wish I had the information I now know, but but that's what I did in the beginning. I started walking to class every day. It was January in Vermont, so no excuses. Just, be more active, get it done, do what you can, do a little bit more every day, and keep pushing yourself, and try new things. You might find that you love yoga, and that's something that you can consistently do, because at the end of the day, the way of eating that you decide to do, how you decide to eat, the activities you decide to do, the workouts you do, those really need to be things that you're going to do for sustainable. They need to be sustainable, so you're going to keep up with them, and that's going to keep up with the progress that you make. So just find your niche. That's really what I suggest. Run, dance, do karate, rock climb, biking, or cycling classes. I know a lot of people are really into that these days. Anything's really fun. And I mean, you might have certain goals in mind physique-wise, that certain activities might be more conducive for achieving those than others. But, be flexible. There's no one way to be fit. There's no one way to reach your fitness goals. Try new things. Everybody is different. Figure out what works for you. And stay positive about it. If something doesn't work and you're finding yourself kind of stuck, switch it up. Switch it up or make the best of the situation. Do what you can, and really just try to have fun with it. It's gonna be what you make it. Some people are into fitness on a very minor level. They work out regularly. They watch what they eat. And that's really all they do. And some people are really hardcore into fitness and start Instagrams and YouTube channels about it. And then, wherever you fall on that spectrum, just do it for you. Just try to focus on your own health, your own happiness, and just have fun, have a great time. So I hope that was informative. I didn't know how to end it, so I'm just gonna end it like that.